You're watching the Power Hour, and today we're going to dive deep into the realm of self image and the power of positive affirmation. I'm your host, DJ Larry Jones, joined by my wonderful co host, Tamar. In, today, in today's conversation, we'll explore how perceptions of ourselves shape our lives and how cultivating positivity through affirmations can truly transform our outlook. Tamar, how are you doing today?
I'm doing amazing. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. It's always a pleasure having you join me on the show. I want to jump right into it. Now, what role does self image play in shaping our confidence levels?
Oh, it's everything. It's everything. And the interesting thing about self image is that we actually have two. We have the image of ourselves that we portray to others. And then we also have the image of ourselves, which is how we feel about ourselves. So I might portray myself as someone who is confident and outgoing and loud and opinionated, but I might actually see myself as a very introverted, quiet person who's very soft spoken. So the great thing about it is both of the self-image things that you have going on in your life are things that you can adapt and create whatever you want. And therefore, your confidence is also something that you can create.
Yeah, yeah. And with social media, I mean, we can pretty much be whoever we want to be. We can put on that face and put on that whatever it is and just be who we are and be confident in that image that we project out there to the world. Um, how does our self image influence the way we interact with others?
Yeah, it's so interesting because we have this image, right? I have the image of myself that I want people to see. Everybody has that. But the really interesting thing about self image is also that the result of years of the way people see us can also affect how we're seen. When we walk into a room and we first meet somebody for the first time, they might see and be able to feel a lot about us that we might not even want to project. So, if we've had years of being told something negative about ourselves, that might be coming through without us even wanting it to. So, it can play a really big part. And that's why it's really important to begin to understand and identify the different elements of what makes up your image and what it is that people are actually seeing.
Right. Now, can we be overconfident and just too into ourselves that it would ruin a potential maybe business deal or something like that?
Look, confidence is a really wonderful quality to have. And I think that when you border into the unappealing element of confidence, is when you begin to be boastful, when you begin to be egocentric, right? And when you bring out those kind of elements, yes, people are probably going to be a little bit put off by that. So the really important element of having that confidence that oozes out of you that you want, that confidence will draw people to you 100 times out of 10. But what you do want is you want to make sure to keep it on a level where you still have that sense of purpose and of giving back to others. Everybody in that room who's meeting you and seeing your sense of confidence should also leave feeling better about themselves.
Right, right. Do it, but don't overdo it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, can you discuss the connection between self image and mental health?
Oh my gosh. We have an epidemic right now with mental health.
Right.
And self image is a huge part of that. And actually, you mentioned social media, and social media can also be a really, really negative factor in our own self image. The saying, comparison is the thief of joy. I really think that that is such a true saying because once we start to compare ourselves to the elements of other people that we are seeing around us, it's very easy to feel less than. It's
Yeah.
very easy for me to have a negative self image and to start to get anxious and to start to get withdrawn because I'm looking around me and I'm going, wow, everybody seems to be doing so well. And here I am struggling.
Right.
And so it's really important to remember too that the things that you're seeing around you and the elements of other people that you see when you're scrolling on your social media is also not really a true reflection of them or their own self image.
Not at all. Not at all. Like I said, everybody wants you to see what they want you to see,
Yeah.
but yeah, for people who may be struggling with that confidence,
Mhm.
What strategies can they take in order to improve that self-image?
Yeah, this is such a fascinating question, and I love it because there's so much that can be done.
Right.
To back it up a tiny bit, I just want to talk about how the brain works. So think of your brain as being a circle with a line in the middle. At the top is your conscious brain. This is where we take in information, thoughts. We go by our five senses. So what we hear, see, smell, taste, and touch, we can think about it. That creates our thoughts. Now, there's also our subconscious mind. That subconscious mind is fascinating because it accepts anything that you tell it. And this is so great for people who want to build their confidence, because I'll tell you something, you tell yourself that you're confident long enough and you go through repetition and you build that image slowly, you can actually reprogram your subconscious to believe and to feel that confidence. And you'll see it without you even trying when you use things like I am affirmations and meditations, or you can even write down what it is that you actually want to feel. And you repeat that to yourself enough times, it's going to stick.
Right. Right. Good stuff. Now, okay, what role does self-acceptance play in shaping our self-image?
Oh, it's so big.
Big.
Please, wherever you are at in life, be accepting of it. Show yourself grace and kindness, because where you are at today is not an indicator of anything about you other than where you're at today. Because it's like taking a test score and thinking, I'm not smart. No, it just means on that particular test, you scored that number. That number, in fact, is going to change the next time you take that same test, right? And similarly with your self image, it is only an indication of where you are in this moment in time. You can change that tomorrow. And by next week, next month, next year, you can be a whole new person.
Whole new person. That's right. That's right. Now, how does no, wait, let me say this. Let me ask this. What are some common misconceptions people have about self-image?
Yeah. Self image is one of those limiting beliefs that we think is set. So I'm a person who is tired. I'm a person who is low energy. I'm a person who is not very smart. I'm a person who is not very successful. Everything that I'm saying can be my self image. But in fact, those are such malleable elements of your life that you can change so drastically just by making the decision to change it, because your self image is only like a reflection of one tiny moment in time.
Right.
So it's really important to know that your self image, or who you believe you are, and you might have a really ingrained belief because you might have decades, you might be in your 60s and think, this is just how I am. And even that is not who you need to be.
No, no. I want to move on to positive affirmations. Now, positive affirmations are statements or phrases aimed at promoting a positive mindset and self-belief. And they're often repeated regularly to reinforce a desired belief or attitude with the goal of fostering confidence. Right?
Yeah.
That plays a big part, I believe, in having self-confidence. Repeating those affirmations to yourself. Let's talk about that first of all. What are positive affirmations, and how do we define them?
Yes. Positive affirmations are statements about yourself that you want to believe.
Right.
So I am smart, I am capable, I am enough. This is a really big one. And for the self-acceptance piece, the I am enough piece can be a really powerful I am affirmation. These are sets of statements that you make to yourself repetitively, because you'll remember the subconscious mind will accept anything that you feed it. And if you constantly feed it positive affirmations about yourself, it will believe it. And then the beauty of it is that your body follows your subconscious. So, what your subconscious feels about yourself, your body will then behave in the way that makes it reality.
Right. When is the best time to recite your affirmations?
Love that. So you and I right now are in a waking state, right? This is more of our logical state when we're more in the doing mode. So this is a really good time to work on practicing your habits. When I would suggest doing the I am affirmations is when your brain is in alpha wave. And this happens naturally when we're sort of in that groggy state, when we're first waking up in the morning or right before we're going to bed. This is a really powerful time when your subconscious is open to suggestion, your logical mind has relaxed a little bit. This is a great time to do your visualization, think about the person you want to become, and do your I am affirmation. But you can also get into the alpha state during the day. And the way you can do that is through meditation. Every meditation starts with a breathing exercise or a calming, a relaxation exercise, which will calm your mind and bring it into that state where it is more receptive to the I am affirmations.
Right. I want to talk a little bit about meditation. Right.
Yeah.
A lot of time, there's so many distractions around people. Even myself, when I try to meditate, there's so many distractions going on that
Yeah.
it throws me out of it. How can we stay in that meditative state and avoid the distractions?
Listen, I think that the suggestion that we can turn off our brain for half an hour and not think anything is very unrealistic.
Right.
Our brains are meant to think. We think 60 to 70,000 thoughts per day. So, what you want to do during a meditative state is take it easy on yourself. You want to give yourself a message, right, that you want to be focused on. You want to set the intention for that meditation. Either you'll do it silently with music or through a guided meditation. And when your brain starts to think about the other things that you have to do, the groceries that you have to buy later, or the electric bill that you haven't paid yet, that is okay. That's what your brain is designed to do. So remember that and go, oh, I'm thinking about my electric bill. Let me bring it back. Right. And it's that process of just reminding your brain, okay, we're relaxing now. That's the most powerful. So you don't ever have to worry when your brain goes all kinds of places. You just need to remember to bring it back.
Yeah. I mean, because I meditate, and what I use to meditate is the sounds of the ocean.
Love that.
Yeah. So
Oh,
that's every night and every morning. Sounds of the ocean. I try not to think of anything. Even though thoughts do run across my mind, but
yeah.
I get it out of there. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead. I'm listening.
Yeah, I wanted to tell you one thing that's really interesting about meditation and why it's really powerful and why everybody should be doing it. And it's for this reason. When we are asleep, right? When we are asleep, we feel like that's when we're resting and rejuvenating, and all of that is true for the body.
Hmm.
But the mind, because of our time as cavemen, our mind is never fully asleep, even when we are sleeping, because our subconscious mind is always alert. Because when we were cavemen, we always had to know, is there a saber-toothed tiger that's going to walk into my cave? If so, I need to respond and react and get up and run away as fast as possible. That's why during sleep, the mind actually doesn't get as much rest as we think it does. But the time that the brain can rest is through meditation. And it's actually the process of letting go of those thoughts during a waking state that really rests the mind. And that's where the mind tends to rejuvenate. So you will become a more healthy, successful person just through the process of daytime meditations.
That's so true. That's so true. If you go to bed, I've noticed, without meditation, and you're just thinking about things while you're trying to get to sleep. Number one, it's hard to do. It's hard to get proper rest while you have a million things on your mind.
Yeah.
But when you wake up, it's almost like you hadn't gotten any rest at all.
So true. It's so true. We tend to go to sleep and wake up taking an inventory of all of the problems in our life.
Yeah.
And that is incredibly aggravating for the brain. So, if you change one habit after watching this podcast, change the habit of what you're thinking about as you're falling asleep and as you're waking up. Switch that mindset from thinking about the problems or what you have to do the next day, switch it to gratitude.
Yeah.
Because when you think of all the things in your day that you're grateful for, or when you wake up and you think about all the things that you're grateful for, you're going to raise your vibration and your mind is going to be so much more peaceful, and you're going to be setting up your sleep or your day in a much healthier way.
Exactly. And the proper sleep, getting the proper sleep and proper rest can help you in so many ways. Physically, it can really help you physically. So now, what are some of the ways it can help you physically?
Yeah. So when you are asleep and when you are resting, this is when your when your body literally heals itself, right? So if you've also done your auto suggestions and you're going to sleep, you can leave that audio on. There are 8-hour sleep meditations that you can use, because when you're asleep, your brain is in delta and theta waves. These waves are when your brain is at its lowest function, its lowest frequency. It's open, it's wide open. This is why dreams are so powerful. This is a really good time to use those sleep meditations. There are a million I am affirmation audios that you can listen to while you're in those brainwaves, while you are sleeping. But at the very least, when you go to sleep, setting yourself up to be in a gratitude mindset, and you start to visualize your future self and all the amazing things that you're going to create in your life. When you go to sleep, your brain will digest all of that, and it will start to really soak into your self-conscious. And you'll be amazed at the things that your body starts to do when it moves you towards that goal.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, how do affirmations differ from other self help techniques or practices?
I am affirmations are one of those things that you need to do really repetitively. It's a habit that you need to create. And the amazing thing is that it happens on a subconscious level, right? So that's the beauty of it. You can go to sleep with these I am affirmations and go, this is not working. I'm so bored of this. When is this ever going to work? You don't even have to believe it. It's going to work even without you trying. Other forms of self help are extremely active in that they really implore you to do things in a different way. And that's great. But when you can start to think in a different way, a lot of that stuff will fill itself out automatically for you, and it will actually take a lot less effort.
Exactly. And I always say, when you change your thinking, your whole life will change.
Yes.
Your whole life.
Yes. Yes. Your brain will take you anywhere that you want to go. So decide where you want to go, and it will take you there.
Yeah, it definitely will. Be who you want to be. Like you said, go where you want to go. In your opinion, what's the future of positive affirmations in personal development and mental health?
I really hope that through conversations like this, it becomes a wider used tool, because this is actually something that has been studied and used for centuries. This has been used before we even had written language. This is something that is incredibly powerful, that when used through repetition can create a huge change in the persons, in the way that they see themselves and in the way that they operate. So my hope is that the I am affirmations and the meditations, rather than being seen as this sort of holistic thing that hippies do, it needs to become a part of the day-to-day life for everybody.
Right, right. Well, we are running out of time. I do thank you so much once again on the show tomorrow. It's been a pleasure. We have to do it again. Uh,
Yes.
and you're watching the Power right here on Soul TV.